Are you ready? Are you sure? Episode 114 of Weighing In with Travis Hartman. I am B Money, the producer. That over there is the talent. Weekend Trav.
B Money.
Listen, we have a music track now. It's pretty solid.
Listen, that's Isabella's toy. She will be very mad if we damage it.
Okay, we're not. But what was damage, Weekend Trav? I think we have a few things to talk about. Damage number one: Cyril gone. Damaged by John Jones coming back.
Cyril gone is gone.
Is gone. But we want to talk about the possible undisclosed damage to Amanda Serrano because that fight with her and Katie Taylor for May in Ireland is now officially off.
Yeah, Katie Taylor's homecoming, May 20th, was supposed to be the super fight rematch with Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. It is no longer happening because of an undisclosed injury, but the rumor is the injury is a hand injury that suffered back in 2021 and supposedly not healing correctly, but it must be pretty bad. We were just talking off air. It must be pretty bad. I'm a boxer, and I know hand injuries and things like that. We've all had them. For her to already call this fight off, the fight's May 20th. And they're saying she's not going under surgery, so that's why I'm like,
it's very odd.
Maybe does she need a break? I mean, she's long in her career. She's had a lot of fights. She's 40 plus pro fights, close to 50, I think. So maybe she just needs a little extra rest because she's had a pretty busy couple of years. I don't know. You
would think, though, with that kind of a break that they need to open her up. I would think there might be something going on in the hand. We don't want to just cause another rumor swirl around, but usually something like that, a broken bone, Weekend Trav, you can get that healed up
pretty quick.
Maybe not ready for May, maybe be too soft of an injury still for a May fight with your toughest opponent to date.
But that she'd lost to already,
Yeah, but I'm thinking if it's an injury still from 2021, this must be a ligament thing. This must be something where that might and should, in all honesty, require surgery to get it fixed up.
I'm not a big surgery guy, so maybe she's the same way, and maybe she's like, you know what, surgery would fix it, but I'm trying to let it heal naturally, and maybe just a little more rest would heal it. I don't know.
Gotcha.
We are all speculating right now.
Absolutely. And Katie Taylor, I think, and I don't have the names, maybe you have that in front of you, Katie Taylor now rumored to possibly be trying for some sort of a super fight with another undisputed champ, another undisputed women's boxing champ.
Chantel Cameron is her name.
Okay.
I don't even know what her record is, but she's undisputed. I don't know what weight class she's undisputed at, but I just know that's rumored to still happen because Katie Taylor's like, you know what, this is my homecoming. I've never fought at home. May 20th is already reserved. She's reaching out to Eddie Hearn. She's like, Eddie Hearn, make this happen.
Absolutely.
Still, please. And fair enough. Let it happen.
That'd be very cool for somebody to walk out with that much hardware off of a fight like that, especially a name like Katie Taylor. We don't want to throw the other one to the wind like that. There's no chance.
Chantel Cameron, but what if she throws a wrench in that
Exactly.
But that just opens up women's boxing even more.
Absolutely.
We have more fights.
So I think this is overall a good thing. If that fight does take place, it does stink. We want to see Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor fight again, which we will. I know down the road it will actually happen.
She fights everybody, and you know there's no dodging there. They
Absolutely
want that fight.
That's the one thing we can travel about women's boxing. They don't dodge each other. These fights happen.
Yeah.
Men seem to be the ones that make the excuses. Promoters get involved, various excuses.
There's just too much more. There's much more money involved in the men's side is why. The women are just, because they're trying to make a name now, and it's fair, they're like, I'll fight anybody anywhere, which is awesome. That's how you bring women's boxing to the forefront, and it's working. So the men, it's making the men actually have to do the same too, which is good for boxing fans.
Pride and clout have been getting in the way of these men's matches for far too long, and we're still seeing it to this day. I know we have the super fight with Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis coming here in the next couple months, I'd say, maybe weeks actually. Once again, we'll see once they both step into the ring. So anyways, that's for a different podcast. That's not for podcast episode 114. Let's switch gears, okay? I know this is the number one boxing, beards, and bourbon podcast shot in Orlando, Florida, specifically Laureate Park, specifically in a boxing gym on the second floor of said boxing gym, in the podcast room, the TH Boxing podcast room. Shot on a Sunday or Monday, today being Sunday. Dropping on
Wednesday morning at 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
In the world, we are the number one in that demographic and category. I get that. But we do mention the fact that we talk combat sports. Bare knuckle fighting, right? We talk about that. We talk about boxing, obviously. We talk about various things, sometimes football. But this, we want to talk about UFC. Okay, so they're obviously big fight, big headlines. I'm not a big fan of this guy, but John Jones coming back at the heavyweight weight class over the weekend. First round submission over Cyril Gane, who is officially
Gone.
Gone. It's gone.
Back. Gone.
John Jones coming back in stellar fashion. Great event. All the stars came out.
Yeah, I mean, Mario Lopez, me and your man crush for sure. He was out there.
Oh, if the producer remembers to put the photo, I saw Mario Lopez at Universal Studios a week ago.
Producer B Money, make sure that comes out there.
Man.
We have a big man crush on this guy. We love you, Mario.
Yeah.
We love that you love boxing too. That's what helps the whole man crush too.
Mario, I was there. You and your wife were king and queen of the Mardi Gras parade on Monday. I was there.
Which seems fitting.
Yeah.
But anyway, John Jones, I don't know enough about UFC, and I've never claimed to, except when I was arguing with Dana White on Twitter like 5-6 years ago, and he blocked me. Whatever, Dana. Unblocked me already on Twitter. But I don't know enough about the guy. From what I've seen, which is not a lot, I just see highlights and things like that. I kind of like the guy.
Sure.
I kind of like that. He seems like a decent guy just by what I know, and I don't know him very well, so everybody can get on me later. It's whatever. I don't know him very well.
In the Octagon, one of the best to ever do it. Okay, and this is at heavyweight and light heavyweight weight classes.
And the reason why also, I'm not sure about this, but I'm pretty sure the fact that Ngannou, who was the heavyweight champion of the world in UFC, right? Ngannou was his name. He didn't extend his contract with UFC because he wants to make more money. He was making like $600,000 a fight. He wants to go to boxing. So the reason that fight even opened up was that's a vacant title.
Yeah.
So John Jones won a vacant heavyweight title, went up, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but regardless of that,
they were both fighting for a vacant title. So keep this all in mind, everyone.
Okay, Ngannou left, and that's why John Jones went up. Even probably he went up in weight, and the difference.
But you could see it.
Yeah, the pictures is kind of funny.
I'm like, hey,
but he did it.
I'm like, man, I feel pretty good for a dad bod body.
He did it on purpose, obviously, but it was pretty cool because a lot of the stars were out. Tom Brady was out there. I mean,
He was
like
there with Mike Evans.
Who was there?
His former favorite target for the Tampa Bay Bucks. He was there with Mike Evans.
The wide receiver was there. Yep. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
So it was pretty cool to see
Conor
that.
McGregor was there, probably drinking that horrible Proper 12 stuff.
I bet he wasn't, actually.
Probably not.
Actually, I seen his cup. It looked like he had beer. It was some dark. It was probably Guinness.
He's coming back soon too. I mean, he's one of the coaches on their Ultimate Fighter show, so he will be back soon enough.
He spends too much money not to come back.
Yeah, you could tell the difference.
I don't think he has Mayweather money.
No,
but he spends like
the
Mayweather.
Difference in appearance between him versus a few years ago. Yes, I know age adds a little bit too, but man, that mother's been partying pretty good. You could tell.
I mean,
good for him.
He's Irish.
Good for him.
He knows how to party.
Good for him. Nothing against that. We're not saying anything against him, other than his Proper 12, which I don't think he even technically owns anymore.
No, he doesn't. He sold it for a lot of money. Good for him.
Yeah.
He's smart. He'll probably tell you that it's trash now.
So John Jones, he
probably can't actually.
I'm not a big fan of his just because of the out of the octagon stuff. A lot of legal issues. I mean,
did he have some steroid accusations as
well?
No,
well, there might have been
not steroids, drugs. He had some like cocaine.
Domestic abuse, like all sorts of stuff. But when I now put it in perspective of some of the guys we talk about in the boxing realm, okay, that's probably par for the course then, right?
I mean, you're talking about Gervonta Davis. He's going to trial. That fight might not happen because of that. He might go to jail.
Yeah, so which that won't happen. Charges. They'll make it happen. Tax revenue is interesting. So Weekend Trav, John Jones is back. That's good news for the UFC because I really feel like they need somebody to take that helm and run with it, especially in the heavyweight weight class, since they lost their guy that they were trying to get behind. But you know what? They don't treat their athletes appropriately. There's no health care. They don't pay them right. I mean, this is a travesty. We have shed light on this so many times. You see guys like that move on to boxing. They box a celebrity YouTuber and they make more money, combine their whole UFC career in one fight, in one knockout.
I hate the fact that you're making me bring this person's name up, but I have to because Jake Paul has been shedding light on this with Dana White. He's like, listen, pay your guys more. And listen.
It's true.
The sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay? And it is. Jake Paul is correct.
Yeah.
They don't. UFC does not pay their fighters enough.
They don't.
He's correct. So he can still be a douche in a lot of people's minds.
Yeah.
But he's also right on this aspect.
Yeah.
He does. He's paying these former UFC guys more money than they ever made in their entire careers in UFC, and they're coming over and fighting Jake Paul, Ben Askren, and Tyron Woodley. He's paying them $500,000, $1 million to fight him. And they never made that.
And to be clear, during contract they do have medical services available. What I'm saying is longer term health care. They don't have a pensionary system or any of these things. They put their body on the line. There needs to be, and I'm not a big union fan, but in sports I feel it's a little different. We talked about this in year one of our podcast, one of the episodes while we were still in the COVID realm because there was not much to talk about. Does boxing need some sort of a pension system or a union? And the same can be said for other combat sports. I just don't think these promoters have the fighters' interests in mind.
No, I mean, it's money in mind for sure. And that's why when I was coming out of boxing, I was like, you know what? I promoted some boxing shows as well. I held a promoter's license for 3 years. But I was like, you know what? Who really cares about the fighters? Promoters care about making money. Of course they care about the fighters a little bit. But at the end of the day, you're a promoter. You want to make money. So if a fighter loses, you don't care. I was like, I want to be a manager. I want to care for the fighters. That was one of my goals. I want to be a manager more than anything.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say is Jake Paul is doing something good for UFC. But what is he doing for boxing? Because boxing, we don't have a pension. We don't have a retirement. We don't have health care either. We have health care for the night of the fight. If you get injured that night, but that's not even health care. That's insurance that does that. They make you buy that insurance to take care of them if something happened that night, right?
Yeah.
So, listen, Jake Paul has helped a little bit because I remember they canceled a fight when Jake Paul was originally supposed to fight Tommy Fury. They canceled a fight in New York.
And he honored the contract.
And he paid a lot of the opponent or a lot of the fighters that were on that card, right? So he's helping boxing too. But what I'd like to see more out of Jake Paul is, so I don't care about UFC at the end of the day because I'm a boxer. And what I mean by that is start taking care of the boxers, Jake. You're making money in boxing. How about you start advocating for boxers' healthcare, boxers' pension, retired boxers' pension, something like that. I would like for Jake Paul to actually address those issues.
Yeah, it depends.
And he's making a ton of money from boxing.
Yeah.
How about you address those issues? But I know why he's feuding with Dana because that's a big feud. It's UFC boxing.
It gets headlines.
It gets major headlines. The guy... And all of Jake Paul's faults, he knows how to make money.
Absolutely.
He knows how to sell. Period. And he's feuding with the right people.
That's right. And he slowly but surely puts some of his wealth here and there. I mean, he's now a part owner of one of the combat sports. I don't remember which cage it is.
Yes. I forget the name.
So,
Pride. No,
it's not Pride.
Oh my gosh, what was it? Yeah, there was a big contract that he signed because he's going to fight in it eventually. He said within a year or
supposedly.
So. Yeah.
We'll see. But either way, so John Jones is back, ladies and gentlemen. First round sub over Cyril Gahn. And we'll see what happens now with UFC in the heavyweight division. But we'll be honest, we're not proficient in that. Okay? We'll talk the headlines. Okay? Our main game is boxing. We understand that.
I have a really cool story about UFC and boxing.
Okay.
Bruce Buffer.
Yeah.
Right? Who is the big-time announcer for UFC, right?
And brother of.
But did you know that they actually didn't know they were brothers?
Really?
They were watching on TV. They saw this happen. They're like, oh my gosh, like Buffer, like what? He announces, like, this is crazy. Like, we got to be related. They didn't know they were related.
No.
100.
No.
Look it up. I'm not joking. So one of my clients.
They have the same last name.
I appreciate Dave Schroeder. Yeah, and they were and like I think it was Bruce Buffer was watching. Was like, that's weird. They got the same last name. Like they did not know they were related. Did you know? I promise. Look, so I googled it. I was like, you're full of it, Dave. And he's like, no, look it up, Trav. They did not know they were related. How is that possible?
Because Michael Buffer.
I think they shared a father.
Because Michael Buffer had been in the game a long, long time. You would think any ring announcer.
You would think.
Aspires to be certain people in the ring.
Look it up. It's funny, right? You don't believe it, but like look it up now.
Somebody please, if you're following on YouTube or wherever, comment below. Please.
Did Bruce Buffer know that Michael Buffer was his brother?
Please call Weekend Trav out on these tall tales.
It's not. This is the truth. And I didn't believe it either.
Somebody go to Snopes and tell me if it's real or not. Weekend Trav. So this is a mainly boxing podcast. We do love combat sports in general. We love sports in general. You know.
Sure, we talk about football.
You know,
we talk about WNBA. You're
we talk about. I know. I miss it. It's in the off season. It's tough. I'm trying to follow these contracts and okay.
I can't even take it. Okay, I'll listen.
Well, so I'll be as a for fun. I'd like sports gambling for fun, not big dollars. I do little fun dollars. When I look back at the NFL season, I made less money in the NFL than I did in the WNBA for their season. That's pathetic, isn't it?
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Weekend Trav.
You're awesome. B Money.
Boxing. There's a lot of boxing stuff that happened over this past weekend. We want to highlight some of it, but I'm going to start.
Bring.
With the money shot.
I got a money gun somewhere. I got to bring it back.
Of the week. And that came to us via DAZN over the weekend. Eduardo Nunez knocking out Jesus Martin Seca. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
And I don't think anybody.
Jesus Martin Seca. Knocked out by Eduardo Nunez. Second round on DAZN. Hopefully we're putting this on. I don't know if they're going to have an issue with it, but you should see it here.
Jesus got knocked out.
Well, I don't think so.
His name was Jesus.
Well, Jesus.
But it's Jesus. It's Jesus.
I got Panda Express the other day with Grubhub.
I like where this is going.
And I got the notification that Jesus was about to deliver my Panda Express. You didn't even
tell me? I would have came over.
I screenshot
Jesus came to your house?
Yeah.
I would have came over.
You know, a good high protein.
Good for you.
High protein, lower in fat and carb content meal there, teriyaki chicken. Look it up.
So what was it like meeting Jesus?
Well, I didn't because I was.
Oh, he dropped it off.
I was nervous. Dropped on the doorstep. Take a photo. Let me know.
Still COVID nervous. Yep.
No, actually, I've never been.
But I actually like the fact that when COVID hit, they started allowing people to drop, like even pizza. Pizza they used to make you like answer the door. No. I love it now. They leave it on my doorstep.
Yeah, but now
I love it.
Now one of our favorite local-ish pizza joints, Marco's.
Yeah.
They the last couple times I've had to sign for it.
That they just drop it off?
No.
Like they won't drop it off.
They make me.
Oh, that's so lame.
It's weird.
We need to put in a little request. I need to complain.
I need to cough on my finger and then do that. I think that'll change it. So we can try boxing podcast. That was the money shot of the week. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it, but there were some other things from the weekend. I know you, as a boxing aficionado, a fighter, a promoter, a manager. That's all of the above.
I'm not a registered manager, but I'm an advisor. I like
an advisor, a boxing advisor,
boxers,
a coach.
Yes, I love that. I'm a trainer and coach. Yes,
coach is one of the most admirable things someone can call you.
I do, and I do take pride in it. I do love being.
So do I.
That. It is an honor for sure.
Yes, it is.
Over the weekend, Jared Hurd, he lost. Jared Hurd was like, if you watched this guy fight, you were like, this guy's gonna be like the next, like for sure, like light middleweight, 154 pounder, 160 pounder. This guy was legit. Got beat, and I think they were trying to set him up for another fight with a big-time guy at 160. A middleweight's a good division because you got Triple G still there. But he lost. He ended up getting stopped. The doctor stopped it, I believe. And then we also had Brandon Figueroa, who fought Mark Mayoso. I don't know if I said that right, but Sean Gibbons' guy. Brandon Figueroa ended up winning a 12-round decision, and I guess it was a little... It wasn't good based on Sean Gibbons' take of it all, but he's also his advisor, so I didn't watch it. I did not watch it. But there were some good fights this weekend. There were some upsets. There were some knockouts as well. Eric Nunez.
Yeah. Eduardo
Nunez. Eric. I know there's a tennis player named Eric Nunez, I believe. But Eduardo Nunez.
Yeah.
Awesome. But what I wanted to talk about briefly is this coming weekend, some of the fights that are coming up.
Okay.
So there's this guy. We haven't said this name for a while. And it's Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach is training this light middleweight, 154 pounder. His name's Callum Walsh. He's 5-0. And we haven't heard Freddie Roach's name in a really long time.
Okay.
Manny Pacquiao's former coach, everything, coach, mentor, all that stuff. He's 5-0. He's fighting in a main event. He's fighting on the eve of St. Patrick's Day, which is March 16th, on the campus at Boston University. And he's fighting like a guy that's like 11-0 or 11-1 or something. It's like he's really stepping up. I'm only mentioning it because Freddie Roach, he's a guy who's trained some of the best in the world. So I'm looking, and Callum Walsh turned pro with Freddie Roach and has had 5-6 training camp. No, this is his 6th training camp with Freddie Roach. So I'm thinking that B Money's eating peanuts.
Not peanuts. It makes nuts.
I can't even go there. So I thought it was interesting.
Hungry, sorry.
We should probably look out for a guy named Callum Walsh. We have never talked about that, but I'm assuming the fact that Freddie Roach is investing his time in this guy. I thought you were like one kind of nuts, not mixed.
Equal opportunity nut eater.
So he's fighting this weekend. Also, we have Tim Tszyu, who is Costa Tszyu's son. Costa Tszyu was a Hall of Famer, world champion, all of that, etc. Tim Tszyu is undefeated, fighting a guy, Tony Harrison. They're fighting in Australia March 11th, or they're fighting March 12th, but it's March 11th in USA. But the reason why it's a big deal, too, is because Tony Harrison beat Jermell Charlo when Jermell Charlo was 31-0. Okay? So this is like a huge step up for Tim Tszyu. So it's kind of flying under the radar, but it's the light middleweight division, the 154-pound division, which is a hot division still. Okay? You got everybody like... Even though Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford 147, those guys are vying for 154 and under. Those guys could go up easily and fight that division as well. And you have Charlo up there too. So it's a big fight because Tim Tszyu's never fought somebody like this. So the fact that he's fighting this guy March 11th, that'd be this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, March 11th our time, March 12th. It's in Sydney Park Arena in Australia. So I feel like it deserved mentioning because if he does beat this guy, but even if Tony Harrison wins, Tony Harrison's from Detroit, good guy, solid guy. Even if he does pull the win off, it's worth talking about. So that's why I had to bring it up.
There you go.
Because some boxing fans, I don't know if they're listening to us.
If you're listening 20 minutes
care
in,
about this,
which I appreciate. We'll try to clip it. If you follow our description on YouTube and Rumble, I try to put the timestamp in there. So if you want legit boxing news, headlines coming up, fights coming up, or fights that occurred, we will put that timestamp in there. Check it out. We do appreciate anyone that follows us in our content on YouTube and Rumble and the like. If you're listening to us on the different audio podcast apps, we do appreciate that too, whether it's on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, anywhere else. We are all over the place. Weighing in with Travis Hartman, thank you so much for subscribing. Continue to do so. Give us a thumb up and a like as well. But we're not done. We can try.
Yeah, we have to also make sure you guys check out our new bourbon podcast where we rated our bourbon on a separate podcast.
Yeah, we're asked,
drinking bourbon. So
sometimes the bourbon stuff can get lost in translation as we kind of ramble on through. There's been times we've forgotten to highlight what we're drinking, et cetera, et cetera. We are drinking tonight, and we're not going to give a full highlight because in a couple of days we're going to drop the actual Bourbon Lounge segment that talks about this Horse Soldier Reserve we are drinking today. Very good. We rate it on that little clip. So follow the content and stay tuned later this week for that. And we'll have a different playlist as well involved as well. But we are still enjoying the bourbon.
We are. Because
Horse Soldier Reserve.
#1 boxing, beards, and bourbon podcast. In
the world.
In the world.
That's us. We can travel.
There's fights on DAZN this weekend. Diego Pacheco, Jack Colin. There's also fights on ESPN Plus this weekend. Joe Joyce, former Joe Joyce
is a big
opponent, huge one. Tony Yoko, heavyweight. What's worth mentioning because he's a gold medalist, literally huge. Tony Yoko is a former gold medalist.
Big Asian guy.
He beat Joe Joyce. He's French, actually. Tony Yoko's French. He's the first French guy to win a gold medal in that division. Yeah, but Yoko
I'm thinking of a different fight.
But Yoko does sound French, or does sound. Could be whatever, but he's not. He's French. But regardless of that, he's fighting. He has lost one fight already, but he's trying to avenge that loss. And he's also fighting a guy named Carlos Takam. It's on ESPN Plus. Tune in. Just listen. Some of these people that I've mentioned, I know that we mentioned them really fast and in passing. We're going to hear a lot of these names down the road for sure. Especially Tony Yoko could obviously emerge because the heavyweight division is right now. It's a lot of guys that are probably on their way out eventually. Maybe not right away, but you're talking 2-3 years. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, all those guys, Deontay Wilder, they're either going to be on their way out or retired.
I mean, Tyson Fury's already retired like 5 times.
He's retired like 16 times, but I think he's going to be carried out in a freaking, I don't even know what. He never wants to stop fighting, which is
money is
so
money.
Be it. So be it. I don't know if he even cares about money because he's got a lot of it. I think he just loves
one thing I know about guys with money, guys and gals with money, is that it's never enough. They like more of it.
And once you get that level and you start getting hundreds of millions of dollars, it's like, oh my gosh.
I'm going to keep doing it.
He does have a huge family, too.
Yeah.
I think he's like 6 kids. So, like, you know what? It's never enough.
Self-proclaimed gypsy, right? So
they 100% is.
Yeah.
So, like, you never know. But regardless of that, there is some boxing this weekend. That's why I just wanted to touch base with some of our boxing enthusiasts that actually follow the sport. There's actually boxing on DAZN and ESPN Plus this weekend. If you want to tune in. Last weekend, there was good fights on ESPN Plus, and DAZN. So I'm just trying to keep everybody up to date with. There's a lot of good fights on.
Well, it's an interesting sports time weekend, Trav, because we're about to enter March Madness season here, and kind of have with college men's basketball, I should say. And then the NBA is starting to round the corner as well. Not that we follow much of that. And then baseball, which I'm not a big baseball fan, but they're in spring training, but they're about to start normal season here as well. Yeah. So boxing, though, is year-round. There's just a lot of stuff out there for us to follow as fans, but pay attention. If you're a boxing fan, there's always some content going on over the weekends. There's always something. ESPN Plus, on DAZN,
I've never seen this in a really long time. They're actually there's been fights like every weekend.
Compelling fights
on TV.
Yeah.
Like it's insane to me because there's been so many fights. Like people have been knocking boxing.
And then there's a local show as well, correct?
Oh yeah, over in Kissimmee, I think. What did I say? March 24th over in Kissimmee. Let me make sure that
Yeah, look that up. Right. So I know we had highlighted one of the local shows that we went to a little over a week
March
ago.
March 24th in Kissimmee. So Undisputed Promotions is putting on another show. The main event is Frevion Robles versus Randy Ochoa. It seems like a pretty solid fight. 135
But this weekend is another one, right?
I don't think there's another one.
In Orlando.
Oh, wait, that's right. March 11th.
So maybe find those details. So we like to highlight, find those details out.
So, that's right.
So we like to highlight a lot of the local shows that go on in town just because, you know what, this is a good platform and we love it. We love to see guys that are local and coming up and trying to make a name for themselves and get up to that next level. We've talked a lot on the show just about, you know, what it takes from start to finish, from going from amateur to the professional ranks, and how some of those first few fights is really what catapults you into that next echelon. And we're starting to see that. You know, the show we went to a week or so ago, we were starting to see that with some of these guys, where they're starting to outgrow the show. They have to be on the bigger stage at some point soon too. Now, I know there's one fighter in particular that we know, Ryan Main.
Yep.
And he's going to be fighting this weekend.
March
trying
11th,
to find the details.
I'm not finding it yet, but it's here in Orlando. Yeah, you're right. It's March 11th.
They just had an open workout there with Craig Duncan, TDT.
School of Hard Knocks,
Yep.
I'll find it for you.
Yeah, so that's coming up this weekend. Here's me trying to ramble and kill some time. I'm not very good at it.
You're pretty good at it. Just show your pretty face.
Here's the pretty face.
Wave your hair.
Here's the money necklace.
Fabio.
Be money.
Your cool beard.
Yeah, and
because you have a nice beard. We're still rocking the beard. You're pretty good at that too.
Yeah, I'm good at that too.
Isabel's jealous that you're so good.
The one thing about some of these local shows is sometimes it's hard to get the details.
It is. Okay, here we go.
Not for lack of trying.
I'm close. I'm really close. I'm really close. That's what. Never mind.
No.
Oh, Avanti Palms Resorts.
There it is.
March 11th.
Okay, so that's on iDrive, isn't it? Or that's on International Drive somewhere?
I really don't.
Anyways, it's in Orlando. We know that. So that's this Saturday, correct?
Yeah, it is. His name is not on the official box check because this is his pro debut, so maybe that's why. But regardless of that, I don't know who the promoter is at all, but it's at Avanti Palms Resorts. The promoter is Undisputed Promotion.
Okay,
No.
No? Oh,
take that back.
Take
Undisputed is in Kissimmee, March 24th. Take that back.
Okay.
Do
not correlate the two.
Do not correlate the two. Wow, the matchmaker is Melvin Rivas, Chico Rivas. I know this guy, so it should be decent. These fights should be decent.
Ticket information?
It says the promoter is Gonzalez Sapia, Boxlight Promotions and Entertainment LLC. And it doesn't have, I don't have ticket information.
Okay. Well, we're trying, folks.
Ryan Main, he is also on Instagram.
Yeah.
Look him up. He probably for sure can figure it out.
What's his handle?
Ryan Main's handle is...
Because we're going to clip a little bit of this. Listen, we're trying local shows, local promoters. We're trying. Okay.
Main event Main.
Our audience is a certain segment. We understand that. But free promo is free promo. So this weekend. Our friend Ryan Main is fighting on this card, and that's at the Avanti Palms.
Ticketleap.com. Ticketleap.com.
That's a real website.
I promise you. I'm looking at. So, and also, Ryan Main his official Instagram is main event _main, and that's MAINE. That's his Instagram handle at main event _main.
Okay.
Also, Leap. What did I say it was again? Let me find it. Ticketleap.com for tickets.
We're trying, folks. And we want to, because we want to support the stuff. We want to support the local stage. We want to support our friends and that sort of thing. So go support local boxing. I don't care what zip code you're in, what state you're in. Go find local shows and support these guys because they're putting their blood, sweat, and tears on the line, trying to get to the next step, the next echelon. So our friend Ryan Main, good luck this weekend. Avanti Palms, you said. Avanti
Palms,
Avanti Palms in Orlando, Florida. Just holler at us if you're looking for tickets. We'll figure out a way to connect you.
Put you in touch,
Anyways, so that is coming this weekend. Weekend Trav.
Weighing in with Travis Hartman on Instagram. We'll put you in touch.
Yeah, there you go. So Weekend Trav, final thoughts.
Support local boxers.
Did I just put the final thought in your mind? Like that was the last thing? That was like the brain dump?
I mean, well, because I feel like that this episode has gotten really stupid towards the very end.
No, it's not that bad. Well, it's not that bad.
Well, for me, in my head, it feels like
it's a little scrambled. Yeah, we've jumped around.
But
we talked Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor. We talked John Jones and Cyril Gahn, who is gone.
But, I mean, I thought we stuck to the pretty good stuff for sure. but then it got a little wiry at the end.
Wiry.
For Travis, because I've had a couple glasses of this horse ultra now. That should be our money shot.
That's like
of the week.
That's like when they tell you that the performance is about to get back into the auditorium.
They're coming back.
Yeah, when you go to
on their way back.
Weekend Trav, when we go to the ballet together, and it's an intermission, and they tell you that means go back to your seats when we're watching Swan Lake.
I do remember that. We did.
Yeah.
We've been to multiple ballets.
Listen, we're
classy.
We're sports fans.
But we're classy.
They're really good athletes, actually. That there is Weekend Trav.
That there is B Money, a.k.a. producer, a.k.a. we need to cut this off.
Cut what off? God bless.